But one reason I've been really excited to talk to you is there's two reasons. One is the business stuff is really interesting to me, but also my whole entire family is from Sheridan. So,
I didn't know that. Okay.
So my mom and dad are from Sheridan, and my dad has 7 brothers, 2 sisters. So there's 9 Diefenderfers from Sheridan, Wyoming.
Wow.
So my mom still lives in Sheridan. And my whole childhood, we spent every single summer in Sheridan, out on the road towards Buffalo.
Right.
My grandpa had a quarter horse racing ranch.
Huh.
So I'd spend every summer there.
That's
so
cool.
Sheridan's like one of my favorite places on earth.
Love Sheridan.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
How long have you been there now?
We moved summer of 18. So kind of moved our business from like 18 to 19. Our grand opening, our new facility was 19. I personally moved June of 18.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was after my grandpa started a business in 1945. So it was like moving a 75-year-old business 1,000 miles away, from California. So,
Yeah.
So it was a big move. And we could have picked anywhere in the world. We picked Sheridan, Wyoming. Literally. Could have gone anywhere.
How did that start?
We obviously, like when my grandpa started the company, like California was a land opportunity, I mean, he has pictures of like John Wayne and Roy Rogers and like all these guys like with his guns, back in the day. California's changed. And so, we've known, my dad actually, my grandpa passed away in the 80s. He moved the company up to the central coast of California just to get more out of like the LA area and get more rural and places a little bit more of the outdoors. But then California just kept deteriorating in so many different ways from a business climate. Obviously, firearms,
Yeah.
not a great place. So many different things. So we started looking actively in like 2014. And then it wasn't, for about 4 years. So
Took a while.
Yeah, we looked at a bunch of Western states. We are a Western like company. We sell a ton of our product all over the world and a whole lot of places where there's no mountains. Like Pennsylvania is a ginormous state for us. But people that aspire to go to the West or go every year or go every, other year. But we're just a Western like hunting product company in our core. Now we have people that just buy our stuff to shoot, or we have stuff that, whatever, African safari stuff was big with my grandpa back in the day. He did them a bunch in the 50s and 60s. But for us, we're just core in the West. So
Mountain hunting.
Yeah. So we taught, and with our whole way Weatherby started was actually off of high velocity, and it was off of my grandpa's like philosophy of really getting a bullet moving faster. Obviously it's gonna be flatter shooting. You're carrying energy out further, a more quicker, humane kill. So our business started not even on guns, it was on speed, it was on velocity. And so obviously hunting out here in the West, and the type of shots needed compared to out of a tree stand or something, maybe down south. It just resonates with kind of how we started that way too.
So did it start with ammo or a gun?
Ammo.
Really?
So my grandpa he'd gone on a mule deer hunt in the 40s and injured an animal. It was Utah. And that's when he started going like, we got to get bullets moving faster. So he started tinkering around in his garage. He was what they call a wildcatter, right? So he'd, take these H&H cases at the time and different things and blow them out. He came up with this rounded shoulder and kind of the belted magnum and a bunch of different things at the time. So then he started chambering people's rifles for his custom cartridges, and that's how he got started.
That's awesome.
And then kind of the rest is history from there to, multiple actions of rifles to shotguns to making stocks, loading ammo, kind of doing everything we do now. So
how'd you land on Sheridan, Wyoming?
Right. So coming back to that, so we looked at about a half a dozen Western states and started talking to economic development people and just a whole lot of different things, and had a big list of things that we hoped to accomplish, by relocating. And we knew it was just going to be this kind of third generation like restart of, it was really going to be almost, talking to an entrepreneur, right? It was almost going to be like restarting a 75-year-old brand in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
We knew we'd lose the bulk of our employees. Right now we have about 130 employees, of which 12 of us worked for the company for more than 5 years, where we had 20, 30, 40. We had a guy that worked for us for 58 years, came to work for my grandpa when he was 18. We moved from California, he stayed. And he retired. He's like, I gotta retire. I'm not moving on this one. I've done all the moves, but I'm not doing this one. And so so we knew that it was like going to be this big restart, and so it was going to be really important for us. And at the end of the day, I remember meeting our former governor, Matt Mead, and he just said, "We're going to get you Wyoming." And I went like, "Dude, there's no people in Wyoming, and there's amazing hunting, different things like that. I'm not going to get anybody to move from California because the wind's always blowing 50 miles an hour, all those kind of things." I'm like, Wyoming? Like, there's just not a big enough population for workforce and logistics and shipping. I mean, we import stuff, export stuff. I mean, we got stuff coming in and out, all that kind of stuff. And so he goes, "No, we're going to get you there. Here's my cell phone number. Like, call me if you need anything."
That's amazing.
And so it was really the people of Wyoming more than anything at the beginning, from Governor Meade all the way down to everybody we met. It was just like, it was awesome. Now, it did roll out the red carpet, put together a big incentive package, for us that was phenomenal as well. And so at a certain point, it was like, okay, God's directing us to Wyoming, and this is really clear.
Yeah.
And so then we go, okay, we're going to go to Wyoming. Now we have to find something that works. We need to buy an interstate so we can get goods in and out. And that erased a lot of things. We probably need more than 10,000 people in the town, so that erased 90% of the town. And
For
so
Wyoming,
we found Sheridan. Elevations of 4,000 feet, not 7,000, right? A little less windy than a lot of the states, still Wyoming, but
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Access to hunting right there, just general stuff, that we can hunt right in the mountains and the bighorns there, and the interstate going by, and Sheridan College we started working with in some different programs, and kind of a just pro-growth mentality of really wanting for the outdoor, kind of industry down there. I mean, it's no Bozeman. I'd like to say maybe it's Bozeman a lot of years ago, type of feel.
Yeah.
So it's, we just absolutely fell in love with it, and it's been perfect for us.
How many people from California moved with you employee-wise?
Well, like I said, we have only about 12 left,
Okay.
but there was a handful more that didn't make it, winners or whatever it was, just aren't there today. So not a lot of folks. Now we've also doubled in size. So we had about 70 when we left. And because of coming to Wyoming and doing a lot of things we've done, we've doubled the size of our business in the last 3 years, which for a 75-year-old brand is a lot of growth.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing, but been busy. But so we have a lot of new people, but it's neat. We have, just a passionate team, even the team that's here working out, just passionate about our brand, passionate about hunting and shooting, our new products, a little bit of everything. And just our company culture has grown in so many ways. So it's been not just revenue or headcount or those things that people measure, but as a brand, we've really grown. I like to say, when I took over from my dad a number of years ago, the branding wise, I didn't have to do anything. Just don't screw it up.
Yeah.
The brand's
there.
A prestigious brand, Western hunting, firearms and ammo brand that's been there for generations. And but I would try to take that brand and really, I felt we'd never really grown into what we could be as a brand. And my dad would definitely agree. And so I took the foundation that my two predecessors, my grandpa, my dad, laid down, and then an incredible foundation, to try to build something off of. And so that's what we've been doing the last few years. So.
If you look back at it now, over the last couple of years, what would you point to as things that have really accelerated that growth so fast?
Good question. The right people. The move to Wyoming, no doubt. I mean, a lot of chains came off by doing that. Operating expenses to, taxes to, whatever. I mean, it's just everything, right? So we were able to do a lot more things that we'd previously outsourced because we just couldn't afford to in California. Everything was just so high there. And so we've been able to start doing a lot of things, a lot more just manufacturing, machining, a little bit of everything, more ammo stocks. So we brought a lot more in-house as well.
Yeah.
And that's got us to be able to turn product quicker. And especially, so we had, it's not news that gun sales went up a little bit the last couple of years.
Sure.
So we also had, we were poised though, if that spike in demand would have came when we were in California, we would have hit the throttle and gone nowhere.
Inventory and production.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but being able to do things ourselves, we were able to respond to the increase in demand that we've seen the last few years, by having that. And so Brenda always says it's a favor of the Lord. So when I go, babe, did you see what we did last month? Well, it's a favor of the Lord, Adam. It's nothing you've done.
Yeah.
She reminds me of that daily. She always tells me I'm not a big deal. But so it's really a series of everything. Now, some access to capital. I think we made some pretty good investments. It was seriously the move. It was the team. It It was some of the innovation that we did at the right time when maybe our competitors didn't. I mean, it was a perfect storm of a lot of different things the last few years. So
The move part's cool because it is kind of like one of those blessings in disguise type. It feels like where you're kind of getting pushed out of California theoretically, which feels kind of rough, but it turns out to be this phenomenal thing.
Right. It was actually, what's crazy is the benefits the pain was real. I mean, it was 2 years I don't want to ever live over again. I mean, trying to do that. And there was a point where Brendan and I looked at each other and we're like, I don't know. We had a handful of people that had committed to moving 100% and they'd backed out. And, we're building so we built a new 75,000 square foot facility, with underground ranges. We have 2 underground ranges, and it was a pretty big undertaking. Moving our teenage kids who didn't really want to move in high school.
That's
and
rough,
so,
yeah.
we're leaving our friends and family we'd had for generations out there. And so it was tough. And there was a time we looked at each other and we went, well, we better know how to do a lot of things around here because I don't know who else is coming. and so it was hard for a time period. But then not only has it just the pure, it's the culture and the finance part, all those different things, but even just the marketing that was unintentional. Like when you say marketing, it means something we intentionally did, like we stumbled across. So a lot of people like Luke, who's working out with your team right now, like a lot of guys that came were like, yeah, do I want to, he was in our industry, but he was living out east. He's like, do I want to move out west, live in Sheridan, work for this prestigious brand and do these things? Like, so the applications like right off the bat were like talent. Amazing. And so we had this like influx of people saying like we want to join you in what you're doing. And then I think even like it was this, sometimes generational brands can have cycles, right? Or like long-term brands of where they rebrand themselves or they die. I mean, you have to. Yeah. And so, my dad encountered that, and he moved the company, like I said, not that many miles, but got a lot of new employees. I think there's some restarts and refreshes that you look at successful multi-generational brands that have to happen. And Wyoming was just that in so many ways. And so to go like, they're moving to the bighorns, like they're moving in the heart of Western country. Like, so it was symbolic of so many things, I think, for our brand too, of like, they're not done. They're not going to do a slow death in California.
Yeah, so that's super cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
And how are your kids like in Sheridan now?
Well, my daughter goes to school up here in Bozeman now, and my son's over at Black Hills State. So we're, but they love it. They stayed by. They didn't go back to California for college, right? Yeah. So they love it now. So and they did then too. It's a hard thing. Nobody wants to move in high school. So that's a really hard thing. But no, they're doing great. So. Yeah.
And the community has supported you guys really well down there?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's been, it's been an incredible thing. Yeah, just from the city in so many ways. We just sponsored the Sheridan Rodeo, to working with the local, college on things, to other manufacturers that we're able to collaborate with there in Sheridan. So it is growing. If anybody in Sheridan heard me talk about Sheridan, they'd be mad at me because we like our quiet little paradise down there. But it's been neat. And then we ended up being a part of a church plant down there, and just it's home. I mean, we got church, we got family. It's like I kind of forget that, I don't forget. There's a lot in California, remember, and a lot of great things. People throw out California and just. I think the place is a mess, but there's a lot of great people out, that live out there. Yeah, it's an amazing climate. It's a beautiful country. Yeah, there's good hunting.
The rodeo's amazing too.
Yeah.
So how do you think you got here? Like, what got you here in terms of taking over the business from your father? Was there a lifelong of training getting you ready for that, or was it intentional?
Well, so Brendan and I got married real young, like in college, and then I went into the business and was kind of on that track and worked in a variety of departments, within a period of 3 or 4 years. And then I actually left the business for a number of years and actually went and got my master's in theology and did full-time ministry in the church world for a long time, and then came back. I always think in a lot of ways it's good, especially in a family business, for people to go do things and work for other people, pursue your passion. When I was young, it was there, and obviously the allure of Weatherby and all those things were there, but at the time, at 21, 22, 23, I don't know, something like that, it was it it wasn't there at the time. And so I went and did that, which was awesome. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Learned people skills and communication skills, and casting a vision and heading in a direction, and just a lot of things that are so important as a leader of any business. And so I came back with, I guess, maybe natural and learned leadership skills, and then just knew I needed to hire really good people in engineering, accounting, marketing, machining. You start to go down the list of all the different departments we have, and it's extensive. IT, you name it,
it's
right?
a lot, yeah.
And so, so I came back without being an expert in any of those fields. So I always tell everybody at Weatherby, I'm like, I'm the only one who could not be an expert in anything. I need to hire experts and people that can get stuff done. Like I'm the only guy who can not be an expert in my field. But then we've been able to just hire some really, really good people who are experts in their field. So.
And then you kind of stay in your lane with that model of like doing the one thing that no one else can, which is like pushing this vision forward.
Sure. Yeah. I probably, the last few years have been involved in a lot more of the weeds than I plan to long term. But I think a lot of that is the restarting of it and the new team. And so, sometimes I'll be in meetings. I'm like, why am I in this meeting? I don't need to be in this meeting. But I have intentionally, and just by nature, that's who I am. But yeah, sometimes you go, any business leader, any buddy, you have to say, well, what can I do that somebody else can't do? And so yeah, there are a lot of things, both vision of the company, whether it be a product direction or a branding focus, or those big picture things, some capital investments, just kind of that big picture stuff, how to grow the business, to also like kind of the face of the brand. We're a American third generation family owned like firearms company, and there's something really American about that resonates with people. And there's not a lot of us left. And so for me, so that's why I go do a lot of hunting, because I get out there and there's camera crews and there's different things, and there's like, I just watched the video. It's going to premiere it'll be an elk documentary, but I got to host it or whatever, and it's going to premiere in September on the Outdoor and Sportsman's channel. And like, that's my job. Part of my job too is I get to go out there, and my last name's on the guns. And my dad used to always say, and my wife always says, super cheesy, but we have our name on everything that goes out that building, and so we don't take it lightly. So there is part of that of being out there. So it's also, just the relational part and the networking part that I get to go do too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What has been the family's philosophy that allowed you to still be a family-owned private company up until today? Because I imagine there was situations where folks were trying to buy you guys. What has been the theory on that around is it something around just never selling? How do you maintain that?
I don't know. We've had folks come in, as minority investors over the years, to come in and put some cash in the business, and then it usually always gets, back in the family and, is wholly owned. But, I think it's one of those, like, you can't, 77 years up to this point, there's no family written law. There's no all those different things. It's like, you take, just like everything, you take every opportunity, you take every day, you take every season, and you just lead, and you run with it. Yeah, did my dad have plenty of opportunities? Yeah. Have I? Yeah. But it's, we're having a blast doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
We really enjoy it. We enjoy our products, our people, like the industry. There's a lot of worse things you could be doing.
Yeah.
But there's no family pact or some like written thing anywhere. It's just, we've all loved what we've done, but it's, who knows what, we always just say, who knows what the future holds. And I'm sure my grandpa said that in the 60s, and my dad probably said that in the 80s, and I probably said it last week, We always do that.
Yeah.
There'll be like a Friday afternoon, I'm discouraged after work. I'm like, I hope that one person with that really big checkbook doesn't come by yet. But,
I know.
But
day by day.
But no, we're just enjoying it. We're in a fun growth stage right now.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah.
So second reason I've been excited to chat with you is one of my favorite humans on earth is Vern Streeter from Billings, from Harvest Church. So I grew up in Billings, and then
okay.
we've been back to Billings a few times. My wife
cool.
went to nursing school there her final 2 years.
Oh,
So we went to Harvest Church when we lived there
okay.
recently.
Cool.
For those 2 years. And I love Vern. He's like the coolest guy.
He's awesome.
As a pastor, and then just his hunting and adventure stories are always so good. And so I've seen, because I always follow their podcasts and their online sermons. So I've listened to when you've gone there.
Oh, cool.
A couple times, which I thought was amazing. Because it's super rare to see a president of a company guest speaking at a church.
Yeah.
So just wanted to chat with you about that. Like,
Sure.
how have you, where did this start? Where did this come from? Your faith journey, and how do you approach building that into the culture of Weatherby?
Yeah, no, good questions. Yeah, no, just agree. Vern's a great guy. I've been able to be up to his church a few times and stay in their home, and he's just a really good dude. So, and has been a part of an awesome church there in Billings. So, yeah, it's been super fun just to get to know a lot of really good people up in the area. But
yeah, he's
Vern's
amazing.
Vern's one of them. He is. He's a talented dude, really good guy. But yeah, so like I said, when I was, in my 20s, I went and went into full-time ministry, for a lot of years, and just pursued that, and was a youth pastor, and I'd done a lot of speaking and conferences and camps and all those different kind of things. And it's one of those, like, when you have a gift, like, you have to use it. And so, like, all I know how to do is talk. And so, like I said, I'm not an expert at anything.
Yeah.
I tell stories, whether it's to employees or customers or whatever, it's about that. And so obviously, there's no greater, more important story to me than what Christ did for me. And so as much as I love, hunting and so many different passions and different things, to me, it's just, transformed my life. And so to be, to have done that professionally full-time for a lot of years was incredible. And like I said, something I would never go back on or trade for anything. But yet at the same time, when I came back to the business full time, it was an opportunity to to hopefully be able to be who I was, because it's who I am and it's who God made me, not because I'm a pastor, not because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not because of where I get my paycheck from or any of those sorts of things. And so it's been fun. Like I said, I'm one of 3 guys that planted a church in Sheridan that we're a part of, and
That's awesome.
And so we've been able to do that here the last few years, which has been fun. And so I teach once a month at our local church, and then do some other speaking engagements and different things like that still, because I think there's an opportunity. I know there is a platform that I have as the leader of this company and this brand and this family, and so there's I don't know, respect is the word, but there's something there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I'll get invited in to do some speak. The first time I went to Harvest Church, we I think gave away guns in between the service. There was a raffle. It was a Father's Day message, and did that, and so that was fun. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, so to be able to use it and blend it, and it's harder. It's easier if you're in full time of something and that's all you do. But yet, I think most of us find ourselves where, am I a dad? Am I a pastor? Am I a CEO? Am I a husband? I'm all those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
A hunter. It's all those things. And how does that makes up who I am and who you are? And so how do we blend all those things together? And so that's what I find myself trying to do a lot. So when it comes down to the business world, if you would, or an employer, all those things, people know what Brenda and I believe.
Yeah.
Our values, shine through and all those things, I hope, and would pray that it would. But at the end of the day, different people are on a different journey and different spots and backgrounds and beliefs and all those things. And so I'm sure we have employees that believe a whole myriad of things and live their lives in different ways, and we love them. And, for who they are and for what they bring to the table, so it's it's interesting, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you handle that at work on like a day in, day out basis? And like if I was a brand new employee with Weatherby next week, will I know that I'm at a Christian-based company right away?
I don't know. I've never been on the outside.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever Chick-fil-A puts on like Christian music in the lobby. I don't know. I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I think it should be in the way that we live and the way that we talk and in what we do. You know, it's always, but at the same time, you know, we pay people to do a job and a job description and all those things. Now we like our values of, you know, passion and teamwork and integrity and all those things should just come out of who we are. And if you believe something different than I do and behave according to our values, then like you're you know, not only welcome to be on our team, but like we want you to be on our team, you know, and celebrate those differences, because at the end of the day, like, you know, that's what we're employing somebody to engineer something, and that's what's, you know, that's what we're getting to do. Now they have, again, you got to respect other people, you got to have integrity, you got to have all those different things to like, to be a part of that. But yeah, I don't know, never been on the outside coming in, so.
Yeah. I was just curious if it was kind of like if it was loud and bold, or if it's just there.
Yeah, I think it's more just there.
Yeah. That's helpful.
Yeah.
So, wanted to ask you about the pilot aspect of your life.
That's intriguing as well, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. When did that start for you?
I think about 16 years ago. That's when I started flying. So,
okay.
Yeah, it was started as kind of a hobby, and I'm one of those guys, like, I don't know, I got certified to scuba dive in junior high. Like, I drove the church bus. I just, like, check a lot of boxes and have a productivity issue.
Yeah.
And so, so probably flying was, like, one of those things. I'm like, man, for thousands of years, people have been able to fly. And, like, for the last 100 years, we have. So I should go fly and get places quicker and be efficient and all that. And then it, you know, it turned into a hobby and a passion and that kind of stuff. And then it can combine with other things, like with my family, we can go somewhere and get there quicker. And like, you know, today or whatever, being up here. And, you know, we're in Kalispell this morning and here this afternoon, so it enables me to do those things. I've combined it with hunting, packed out plenty of dead animals in the back of little planes and stuff like that. So it just kind of, some hobbies, like if you golf, like, and you're on the golf course, like you're just golfing. But when you're flying, like you can combine it with
tons of
business, family, hunting, so many different things. So it's just, I enjoy it. It's, at times it's like stressful. I don't fly every day. The guys who fly every day, you know, I know it can probably get a little boring for them or be, but for me, I don't do it enough where it's still exciting every time, you know, so, because I'm not up every day.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you were pretty young then when you got your pilot's license?
Yeah, I'm 46 now, so it's 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but it's fun and other people enjoy it. It's fun to take other people up and it's, I mean, even if, I mean, it costs a bit of money and takes a bit of time. So does hunting, so does a lot of other things that we do. So it's kind of similar to a lot of those things, but
pick your passions type thing.
Yeah, I guess so. And I've always just kind of hung on to that one and just enjoyed it. And I do tend to need to be a lot of places, and so if I can get there quicker, it's more nights at home, and I like that too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's an amazing perk.
Yeah.
So what's next for Weatherby? What's getting you super excited to get out of bed every morning?
No, good question. Yeah, some days I get up thinking about the future, and then other days it's, you know, just get through the day, you know, like leading any business. But I think in the last few years, we've really seen a lot of growth as an organization, both from in all areas. And so I think really stabilizing that, getting some things healthier. I think, you know, we're kind of in that process right now. In fact, like this week we had 4 Lean Six Sigma black belts in that are helping, you know, just flow and efficiency and all that, because we've grown and we've brought a lot of things in-house and hired a lot of people, but now we're going back through and looking at efficiencies and you know, scrap and inventory and turns and, you know, flow and waste and all the different things, kind of looking at that. So there's kind of a fun challenge to that. It's not as exciting on the consumer level. It's not talking about a new product, but there's some behind the scenes things you do there just to, you know, continuous improvement and make your organization, you know, better every day, where you can be more competitive, you can keep your costs down, your quality up, everything that flows down to that end customer, you know, that really appreciates that. So 22's been a year of kind of doing that. I liken it always to aviation, but like we've been pitching real high. Yeah. It's like we had to level out a little bit and really make sure, I think, you know, companies can grow too fast for too long. And so we're in a bit of a stabilizing mode. But with that being said, we got a lot of cool new stuff
Yeah.
in the docket for the next couple years. From a product standpoint, certainly, that we'll be doing. I mean, there's product categories we can branch out into. I mean, it's great when you have, again, this platform of this brand. There's just so much room for growth. But we also like the old Good to Great leadership book by Jim Collins, where biggest enemy, great is good. And so we could do a million things and do a lot of other stuff, but I want to make sure we're the best in the world at what we can be first. And so we're really focusing on that right now. He always said, what in that book, like, focus on three things: what you think you can be the best in the world at, what you're passionate about, and what drives your economic engine. And so, like, you got to love what you're doing. At the end of the day, you got to make money, or those people don't have jobs anymore.
It doesn't work.
Stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And like, let's just be really good at what we do. And so, not to oversimplify it, but that's a bit of where we're kind of focused right now. Usually what gets me out of bed more is that growth and that new and that next thing. But it's actually been fun to try to do that so you can stabilize it and just kind of
the systems and the process, get all that cleaned up.
Right. Like if, we lost all those people when we moved, if we lost these people now, like, where would we be tomorrow? And do we have processes and systems in place for that to happen?
It could hand off.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a lot of just tribal knowledge and head knowledge of different people that go into things. So it's important to, as you grow, like, you have to be able to do that. So we're all replaceable. I mean, my dad was replaceable, my grandpa was, I am, every one of us are.
Yeah.
And so that's what's exciting about the brand, is that it can live on past that, but it means you got to have your house in order.
Yeah.
So,
And R&D must be huge for you guys too, with the ballistics and just pushing the envelope there. Is that a whole separate department at Weatherby?
It is, we have a ballistics department. And then, within our engineers, there's R&D and a product development team and those different things. And it's been cool. We've been able to do some things the past few years in some of those different departments and branch into new things. But there's a lot of testing. There's a lot of money that goes into testing and stuff that never comes out. And which is fun, but painful at the same time. Like last year, we came out with a carbon fiber stock, and it's the lightest, strongest stock in the market. And that was just a really talented group of people that work for us that really put their head to the ground for like a year and just worked really hard. And is an awesome outcome at the end of that. Yeah. So sometimes you get that, and then other times not as much. And best R&D for us is hunting, I figure, right? So so we got to be in shape to get up in the mountains so we can go test our products. But it is. I mean, my grandpa in the 60s a lot, the 50s and 60s, went to Africa a ton because you could just shoot a bunch of game and really R&D. test out your ballistics and all those things. But even still now, we do a lot of hunting and get our products in the field a lot, so we can be using them, so we can, know what the customer would want and how things are performing. And I usually always had feedback for our team when I get back from a hunt, but a lot of us do, and that's the best way to do R&D. It's for us to be out there
real world stuff. Experience.
I'm usually over half the time I'm using stuff that's not out yet, and it's going to be out at a later time. I've shot animals with cartridges that never even came out to be released, and I don't know if they ever will be because we ran into problems with them. And so there's all that kind of fun stuff that comes with it too. So.
And a lot of those are being shot in the range in the building, and then some long ranges in Sheridan as well.
Yeah, we have a 1,000-yard range too, outdoors on some property, just a couple miles away.
Okay.
Yeah, on some property, and so we're able to do testing long range there. And then underground, we have 100 and a 300-yard. So we actually are able to test out to 300 yards in a culvert. Yeah, you go in in an elevator or the stairs down to the basement, and then we have 2 rooms that we can shoot out of, and then concrete culverts, and one's 100 yards, one's 100 with a trap, and then it goes 200 more yards. So we can shoot without the elements affecting us and everything out to 300 yards. So it's pretty cool.
Right in your basement, right under the building. That's cool.
Yeah, you gotta be able to test them, and then we're loading ammo, so we gotta test. We do a lot of pressure and velocity testing, load development, all that kind of stuff, accuracy testing. Every time we're machining something new, we got to go test it, make sure it didn't affect accuracy. So tons and tons and tons of accuracy testing all the time. The ranges are in use constantly. People always like, oh, is that open to the public? I'm like, no. Like, our guys are fighting over it for business use all day long.
Oh yeah, sure.
Getting
busy.
down there to use it and stuff. It's like you guys here. I mean, like you can do what you do, but you got this sweet gym and this cool setup, and like, you're,
lots of
R&D. Right? I mean, hey, is this workout program going to work? Is this app going to work? I mean, it's a same thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun pushing the envelope on like how far we could take certain things. It's super exciting.
Yeah.
And your fitness background is in triathlons?
Yeah. Other than a kid high school athlete and then got out of shape a little bit in my 20s. And then once we had our kids and are in college now, kind of got back into that. I was a swimmer as a kid. And so it's just like the best on my body, and it's just upper body, and it didn't impact things. And so I could just swim for days. Some people sink like a rock. I don't. Swimming's my deal. And so, I did a triathlon probably right after the kids were born. It was a get back in shape and lose my dad bod that I'd got.
Yeah.
And kind of just fell in love with it, and then just started getting into the biking and running aspects more. And my 30s, I even got a coach and went to nationals and kind of had some just times and PRs and wanted to rank at a certain thing. So I was junk. I like ranked All-American, and I have like a jacket. My kids make fun of me, this old jacket when I was All-American.
Swim jacket.
But I for triathlon that is. And so got super into it, and my daughter actually races on the team here in Bozeman, the club team they have. So she loves the endurance stuff. And then my son's super into weightlifting. So so she's the endurance athlete. He's, believe it or not, I'm like short and whatever, but he's 6'3" and just jacked.
Really?
He's in college. My daughter's in pre-med. She does a lot of homework. My son spends a lot of time in the weight room. And so he'd walk in and go, that is not your son.
Oh man.
But
just a giant.
so he's 6'3" and just jacked and works out a lot. So he's into the strength thing and she's into the endurance thing and stuff. But anymore, I kind of just do stuff so I can stay fit and active and be in the outdoors and hunt and climb and pack and just try to not get old, because I'm going to get old, feel my age as much. You know? So doing that. And so, I mean, the distance stuff I always just loved, and the competitive nature of it. So I did a try boulder and with my daughter down in Colorado again this year.
You did?
Yeah, I did an Olympic distance down there and raced, and it was fun. So
that's awesome.
To get back out there again and stuff. So.
Yeah, those are like excellent too, just for like the mental toughness component of it.
Usually about, halfway through the run at the end, I just go, this is my last one. And then the next day you're looking online to sign up for another one.
Oh yeah.
It's stupid, but it's a mental toughness.
Yeah.
That's so much of the physical is always tied into the mental,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I always find that mental toughness carries over so well into hunting.
Yeah.
Like signing up for a big event in the summer, pushing hard, and then like everything you learn from that event can really help you in the fall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, that's why I was telling you earlier, I'm just stoked as we stumbled onto you guys and through Weston and stuff, and my wife's been super into the program and doing it here, and launched it with some of our employees, and to be able to do that, I mean, we love the outdoors, and we want to keep being able to pack in far for a few more years and stay in enough shape to do it and all that kind of stuff. And so you guys, like, I think, as we were talking earlier, like you guys have just really tapped into that specifically, for the backcountry, the mountain guy, whatever it is, or gal, athlete. And so that's when we found it. We're like, man, that just super resonates with us, So it's been, fun getting to know you guys a little bit this last year. So.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool that she's just doing it at the office with those employees as well.
Yeah.
That accountability and camaraderie is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. When it's rewarding, nobody likes to go and just get left behind on the trail.
Yeah.
Like, like Ryan Lampers and Brian Call a couple years ago bear hunting, and I was out there with those guys.
Yeah.
I was feeling pretty good about myself up till I went hunting with those guys. So there's always somebody, depends who you go hunting with.
Oh yeah.
Some guys you go hunting and you're just like, God, I'm in the best shape in the world. And you go to other people and you're like, man, I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
So, but there are certain guys out there who will just keep pushing it. And it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to end a dream hunt early or anything like that without some sort of training.
A lot of guys always I'm just also not smart. So I like to kill stuff.
Yeah.
When I hunt. And so people will be like thinking about miles and terrain. I just kill stuff and then I think about it.
Yeah.
And so I've yet to be able to like not get something out, but there's been some times where I'm like, I probably should have thought about that.
Pushed it.
But it's good to be, I always want to be in a good enough shape where you can kind of pull the trigger and ask questions later
Yeah.
and get it out,
Yeah.
But it helps.
Gets you in
be
some
able to get
hairy
it.
spots
Yeah.
sometimes, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps to have that mindset going in, though, that you'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
And then you're not stopping like one more ridge back.
Yeah. Yep. No, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, yeah. It's hard to shoot stuff off the road these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
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 Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for swinging by, and we're
Absolutely.
stoked you're in the lab today.
Yeah, no, excited to be here and excited about what you guys are doing. Seriously, just for the industry, for people like, I don't know, like to be able, like you said, you're caring about the whole person, right? And like whatever, we can sell an end product and it can shoot well, but like if that person can't get in the field and get to a place where game's at, like, there's some distance that's there. And so at the end of the day, like what you guys are doing is like super inspiring for us. And I think we all, so much in our industry, like we need each other. Like we, I can't get out there and sell guns to hunters if people can't get out there and use it, and so we all need each other. So we need a good pack to get the stuff out on. Like it just goes right down the list. And I think that's what's cool. And that's what's great about Bozeman. It's such a great hub up here. And we're just a suburb of it way down there. Don't move there. It's cold and windy and awful. But it's horrible in Sheridan. but I think that's what's so fun about our industry is like we all need each other ultimately to like continue on what we're doing. And
we got to support each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I need to do more what you guys are doing. Like I said, I can go far, but I'm getting weak and things are hurting more. So I gotta keep up with my wife more on your program.
Yeah,
So,
she's gonna be a beast this year.
she is. I've like walked through and I was just gonna like, she's gonna kick my butt really soon.
Oh
So,
yeah. I can't wait to talk to her after this first time. 'Cause she's about to finish foundation program. So she'll have a good 20 days of specific training under her belt. Like she's gonna feel phenomenal on that first time.
We're gonna pack in for a wilderness mule deer Wyoming public land hunt here towards the end of September. And so we'll be spiking in and packing in tents and teepees and the whole deal. So that'll be her first one kind of after
the program.
So it'll probably be a picture of me on her back or something trying to get in there. But it'll
She'll
be good.
pack you out.
She actually, this is a cool story like this. Her mom had always had it on. Her mom lives in Texas. She used to live in California, but her mom moved to Texas and she'd always had on her bucket list to go backpacking with Brenda. Like most people just haven't gone backpacking. Yeah. So she came up like 2 weeks ago. Brenda's mom did, and they packed in the Cloud Peak Wilderness down there in the Bighorns, and took her mom backpacking. I think she's turning 70 this year, and went in there and packed some miles into a lake. And I mean, they went 5 miles in or whatever. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was on her bucket list. So she was doing all this training in Flatland, Texas, trying to put a pack on, walking around her neighborhood with no increase in elevation whatsoever. So, but Brenda's like, I want to be like my mom when I grow up. To just be able to do that. But her mom's mentally tough, and that's where it all starts. But, that mental toughness foundation. Yeah. But it's a game changer if you can have like that healthy, active lifestyle into your 60s and 70s. Definitely. And like the impact that has on kids and grandkids and it's generational. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, Adam. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.